which needs to be appropriately dealt with. It's a cancer which is eating up this institution. It's not only here in the council, but as we speak right now, getting members of management to attend second meetings is a type of work. Very often we have been constrained to call off second sittings on account of the absence of the ED and the technical team. Indeed, the whole of last month we don't have SEC, and even this year, this month of December, we struggled to at least have one to dispose of all these urgent matters, but all in vain. I speak with a lot of pain and frustration on this matter, because we have not even had the opportunity of convening the end of the year SEC meeting. In certain circumstances, which I may not be able to explain now, we've tasked the ED and the team to explain indeed if the institution here is going to function like that. We have been constrained to do that. The last time we convened the SEC, I sat for over an hour. All of a sudden, the director walked in. And I was at a loss as what to do. That is Frank Hausa. Said they had just gotten a call, instructed to come and represent management and the ED that meeting. And he had no idea on the, as far as the business of the day was concerned. He himself looked at a loss, to be at a loss rather. He appeared to be at a loss, very serious. And if indeed we conclude this business without anybody from management showing up, I would suggest that we take some drastic measures. The reason we have the ED and the deputy ED is to help us function normally. In the absence of one, the other is around. We can work alternative. So that is the whole essence of the structuring of that institution. That the ED, if we dispose of one reason or another, she's not in position to attend the meetings here, then the deputy ED. And for your information, these matters are being stretched even to some council sitting convening without management showing up. That will be my counsel to this, August House. All those seats are reserved for them, save for the deputy speaker. Now you can see. This does not work well with the functioning of the institution. So, Right Honorable Speaker, this matter has been building up.
The order here, this council, Remember, we have such two council here. Even we invited Dr. Okero, that never attended. Whenever council pronounces itself that is needed here, it goes abroad. It goes for leave. Even the ED herself doesn't want to come here in council. So, Madam Speaker, I stand to second Honorable motion. You can march out. We are not councillors to be brought here to be used. When they want to pass budget, they all come here in the house, full body, and this must be so. They want to use us, pass their budget, so that they go in their offices, they start doing their malpractices. So, Madam Speaker, I beg to submit.
From a central division. You will recall, Madam Speaker, that these people, whenever there is an issue of disposing of Kcca, they don't appear. So we must ask ourselves, who is selling these plots? I'm requesting and suggesting that we proceed and pronounce over this matter. This council must take a position. This council must take a position on this matter. We should not just walk away or make ourselves like we are not proceeding to this matter. Let's conclude this matter. This is the end of the Madam Speaker, I submit.
Your team of abuse office, you can proceed to court. If I tell the abuse office they've abandoned their work, instead of marching, you can show them that we've got something to do after them. And I think you can find a solution on that. And another thing, Madam Speaker, on the issue of the paper, Madam Speaker, the two issues are very urgent. It's not only affecting marching, but the criminal rates with impersonators of Kcca is moving along, all along Kampala, soliciting money from traders around the streets. If at all we don't handle this thing in this season, our people are going to be affected, their capital is going to be taken by the impersonators in the community. Let's find a solution now. Let's make a conclusion. And another thing on the second item on the agenda about this, the primary school. Madam Speaker, I'm among the parents of that school. And my sisters are all kids of that school. And we need to find a solution for the future. And it's very urgent because these kids are starting next January. If at all we don't find a solution, they will be affected next year.
They made those resolutions. And those resolutions are going to affect our people. They are going to affect that school. I understand, Madam Speaker, and I'm pretty sure that the issue of Honorable Mosh is also pertinent. Of course, that issue needs explanation as the law requires, Section 19E. It's very clear one of the functions of the Executive Director. It's very clear, it's to advise this council, Madam Speaker. So this issue of Mosh is also very pertinent because they need to explain why those people, why the presidents are there, why they are doing what they are doing there. So we need the reasons. But this number 2, Madam Speaker, is very pertinent because you can, that resolution of the central division is very dangerous. And I think the Lord Mayor are going to talk about it. Therefore, Madam Speaker, I don't know that we proceed, especially with the item number 2, while we are waiting for the Executive Director or taking for person for another, for first item on the agenda. I do.
Mosh earlier said that we should have no business, and unfortunately, Honorable Mosh, yes, we understand where you're coming from, and to every member that was on your side. But as we are all aware, these issues, the two, issues are very important. The one for demolition and destruction of people's property, it is ongoing, it has never stopped. To the extent of demolishing houses, real houses, like not even kiosks, not roadside illegal structures, not temporary structures, but real houses. I've seen it happen in Kcca, Unyonyo, Gayaza Road, in Nakawa there, it was there. You remember the European talked about it last time in council. So it is not only marching here, it is cutting across. And it is being done by people that we do not know. Because I see RRU led by some people whom we do not know that are doing this job for demolishing people's property without giving any notice. We've talked about this separately and it is appearing to council for the third time. So Honorable Motion going to allow that at least we get that first urgent resolution as council, pending reports and remarks from the ED when we get them, or when we are going to decide on how to get them. Because what we are going to decide today is what we are going to act on. And thank God today even the City Executive said that they are ready for any other action that we want to take against, and they will be leading this council to that process. It would have been very important, Your Worship, that you read us the reports about Battenbury when even the technical people are present. Because now, time and again, you've heard them say, we didn't know, we didn't have that information, you're giving it to us for the first time, you're just learning about this. So, I wonder now when you go on and read Honorable Namaziru's report, the way she has happened to get to us that report, and it is just taken in vain, and then we say that we're still waiting for. We want to see the ED and the entire team here represented very well, to hear what Honorable is presenting to them, and give us feedback there, and then such that we can act. But as council and as everybody, as the supreme policy makers of this city, we can do something now to see that we do not go into the challenge of saying that because we did not act, so they use this period to do the nasty things that can be done to the children of Uganda and their schools.
So we are talking about what's got a very long history. So we have attempted to summarize that report and giving you the background and also the current state of affairs and the recommendation. You will bear with us, right, Honorable Speaker, because this information is vital for us to take a decision one way or the other. There are some matters which are a bit complex, but I beg members will have to listen and understand. And it will be presented as follows. The Executive Secretary in charge of this particular docket will give highlights of what we have documented here. And
reliable sources of information point towards this being a conspiracy to use the land for the development of a commercial mall, just like the case of Shimon Demonstration School. As you remember, in their proposal, they say that the remaining piece of land, they should use it without any, as they wish. So number two, in addition, the City Executive Committee proposes that this council should adopt, implement, and enforce the recommendation of the Auditor General that the freehold land title given to the trustees of SSDM should be rescinded or cancelled, and the lease will be granted to Kcca to develop and own Battenbury Primary School. The purported and fraudulent ownership of a freehold lease by SSDM is challenged. Therefore, the Kampala District Land Board should cancel the freehold lease, which was illegally and irregularly granted to SSDM. Number four, that Battenbury Primary School is a government-aided primary school where Kcca carries out a supervisory role on behalf of the central government. The City Executive Committee moves that this council revokes with immediate effect the resolutions of the School Management Committee, the Education and Social Services, Engineering and Technical Services, and Physical Planning Joint Committees of the Central Division, together with the Central Division Council resolutions. Number five, that this Honorable Council instantly holds the process of approving any plans by SSDM on the school land. Number 6, Kcca management and the legal department is be directed to pursue the legal processes to ensure that this property, a UPE school, is returned to Kcca. This may include but not limited to setting aside the KDLB order, litigation, and applying to set aside the consent judgment, among others, to ensure that this fraudulent process is overturned. Number 7, that this Honorable Council should resolve to preserve that Valley Primary School as it is because of its historical significance to our city and its contribution to supporting and educating the urban poor. Number 8, that Bat Valley Primary School is one of the schools facilitating the attainment of universal primary education in the city with the main goal of providing basic education to all children of school-going age. It is therefore prudent that we uphold its status at its current location. Number 9, Council should adopt and implement the recommendation in a report by the Select Committee of Parliament inquiring into the irregular takeover of land formerly belonging to Kcca, which stated that government should find an alternative location for the SSDM Association to carry out its investments. Number 10, that government through Kcca should take over the renovation of Bat Valley Primary School. In the event that Sri Shatal Dhamma Mandal is in their need of helping the school to be renovated, then they should channel the funds into Kcca establishment in a bid to ensure quality work. Madam Speaker, as we conclude, a move towards the amputation of Bat Valley Primary School not only affects the UPE 1997, the 1997 UPE program that focuses on providing free primary education to all children in the country, but there is also a significant setback in the attainment of the national agendas such as Vision 2040, the third National Development Plan, regional and global agendas such as the Sustainable Development Goals, which advocate for every child to complete a full course for primary schooling. Finally, Madam Speaker, honorable members, as a city council, we should not relent because many of the city schools have been grabbed and some relocated, including Navaveka Primary School, Aria Primary School, Green Valley Primary School, Shimon Demonstration Primary School, Chago Primary School, Muslim Girls Primary School, Ramagaria Primary School, to mention but a few. As the English saying goes, once bitten, twice shy. Our prayer is that this council should consider and adopt this report and the proposals therein. I beg to submit, Madam Speaker.
Taking a decision of that magnitude regarding alienation of a facility of that nature. If you look at the functions that we are devolved to the Division Urban Councils under the Kcca Act, management of such facilities is not one of them. If you have the Act, you look at page 71, functions and services to be developed by the authority of the Division Urban Councils, it's not there. When you go to section 65, page 65 rather, which makes reference to section 7, section 35, section 44, and 83. Number 1, functions and services for which Kampala Capital City Authority is responsible. This authority, the functions that were retained at the authority level. Number 1, establish, acquire, erect, maintain, promote, assist, or control with the participation of the citizens. That is 1, EU, education, trade, and technical services. So anything to do with the establishment of schools or even phasing them out or demolition, it's a prerogative of this authority. It's not the mandate of the Division Urban Council. So they acted at travails. They exceeded their mandate. And when they exceed their mandate, the authority is empowered under section 34. Those of you who have the Act, under section 34 of the Act. Yes? Section 34, subsection 1. Powers of authority over Division Urban Councils. The Council shall have powers to veto any decision of the Division Urban Councils decision is inconsistent or contravenes the Constitution or any other law, the Metropolitan Development Plan or policies of government. So this authority is seized with power under Section 35 to veto, rescind, or recant that decision or revoke the decision that was passed by the Division Urban Council, and that is the reason we are moving as City Executive Committee that this particular council takes a bold decision to revoke that horrendous and preposterous decision of the Central Division, which was irrational, inconsiderate, and ultra-virus. Finally, like Honorable Speaker, the Honorable has made mention of the investigations being conducted by various government agencies. When such key agencies, Parliament, and colleagues, allow me just briefly, I'm not going to read this report, but just we go through it together on page 72. That is Annex 1. This report of February 2008. It's important that we get some of these facts here. This report, it's a report of the Committee on Social Services on the petition by parents, school management of Batty Valley Primary School over ownership of the school. It was not even about development or management, it was about ownership of the school. And we conducted a lot of investigations in that. You can see from the introduction, it was presented on 6th of December 2007. That is on page 72. 6th December were generated through public appeals. A public fund, look at the last sentence. A public fundraising organized to raise funds for construction of those classrooms. The committee was further informed that members of the public, including the Ugandan government, contributed funds towards this project. So it's not exclusively that Shirish and Atan Dama and our associations are the ones who constructed this school. It was public funds. Including the Uganda government, they contributed. Now, you come to the next page. In the report we mentioned, in 1964, by an act of Parliament, Batty Valley Primary School, like all other primary schools in Uganda, came under the central government. Even when the Asians were expelled in 1972 by the then government, Batty Valley Primary School was never abandoned and was never declared unexpropriated property. This fact is important. I want you to understand it, legally speaking. Parliament made an act in 1964 vesting all the schools into government. So by 1972, when the Asians were expelled, this was not part and parcel of the property then held by the Asian community. So, under the Expropriated Properties Act of 1982, the only properties that were subject to repossession are those that had been declared abandoned in 1972. When the Asians were expelled by in 1972, they were chased away without taking away their property or even selling it off or bequeathing it to anyone. So that was declared abandoned property, and it was vested in the custodian body. Batty Valley Primary School, the 5-acre land, was never declared an abandoned property because in 1964 it had already been taken over like other schools by the central government. So it was not subject to repossession. This is the point we stressed in Parliament, and they appreciated it and said no. The certificate of repossession was illegally issued to the Shiri Sanatan Dama Mandal Association. Now ownership on page 72, paragraph 3. Look at page 72 of that report. Are we together there? Because these facts are important to remember. Item number 30. 31, there is title. Look at that. The committee was informed that the 49-year lease given to SSDM in 1957 expired in November 2006. Look at that coincidence. By the time we went to Parliament in 2007, even the lease which they had earlier acquired in 1957 had expired. So in law, once a lease expires, everything that you have there on that property ceases to be yours. There is what we call a reversionary interest. A leasehold is not an interest in perpetuity. No. It is like a tenancy of a particular period. So it was a 49-year tenancy or lease. So it expired in 2006. And our contention that time was, when the lease expired, the reversionary interest reverted to Kampala District Land Board, which had given them the lease, and therefore they ceased to own anything on that particular piece of land. We have a principle in the law which states that people do and do so. Whatever is on land is land. People do and do so. So now, finally, that's what informed. You go to item number 32. That's what informed our decision to put enough land on that land. Because look, the school management committee, our contention was Kcca through the school management committee was in possession of that facility for 70 years. And there are certain facilities that have been constructed on that particular property, including staff quarters, administration block, and a couple of other facilities or fixtures that had been constructed. And we put a caveat on the land to protect that interest. Personally, I wanted it. Now, the status of the land at that time. Kampala City Council and Kampala District Land Board. Go to the last paragraph. Kampala District Land Board informed the committee that it was mandatory to renew the lease according to the Land Act. This is where we had a battle in 2012. After getting a report in the receipt in favor of the retention of the school, Kampala District Land Board, operating within the precincts of this institution and our laws, went ahead and granted the new lease. They granted the new lease to the association. Contrary to the decision, the resolution of Parliament, they granted the lease. We had issues with them. You will summon the chairman, then the Honorable Yusuf Islam, will have to explain all that. That board, the argument that it was mandatory. We reviewed all this, that the law had made it mandatory that lease, they had no choice, that their hands were tied. Once a lease which had been interrupted, because before the 1995 Constitution came into force, there was of course that provision, saving leases that had been interrupted by that period of expiration, 1972 to 82, those 10 years. So that period was saved from the period of the lease, of the 49-year lease. So the argument was, it was subject to automatic renewal. We said, look, this did not fall within the category of those leases that were interrupted because it had been taken over in 1964 by government. It was never declared an abandoned property, and therefore it was not part of the expropriated properties. So this is what the Parliament now resolved after studying this. It's important, Right Honourable Speaker, we look at this resolution just briefly in item number 5. These were all adopted by Parliament. Number 1, that the lease of SSBM expired on 1st November 2006. That was a fact. Demonstrated attempts were made by the school management committee to secure the land from further renewal of the lease to SSBM. Number 2, the school has been under constant threats to relocate from SSBM premises since 2004. They reduced enrollment from 2,300 pupils to current 1,100 pupils. Now we are 670, as we are told. Is attributed to these threats. Since 2004, Shirisha Natal Dama Manda Association and Cosgate threat. They are threatening. Kids are in class, they are threatening with eviction. Actually, for your information, at that time, all the kids were activists fighting to protect their school. We used to have meetings, rallies, gatherings there. So the kids' education had been interrupted, and many parents had withdrawn their children. At the request, number 3, at the request of this committee, the Ministry of Education and Sports sent engineers to Batify Primary School to inspect the school buildings and establish the air condition and safety for school activities. The school inspection report indicates that the buildings just need repair and the school activities can continue as long as the renovation is in phases. That was at that time for renovation. The partnership stipulated in the consent judgment failed. I've had people touting this consent judgment. Parliament made it as a finding that collaboration, that consortium under the consent judgment collapsed, which the social division now want to resuscitate. The committee noted that both parties, Shirisha Natal Dama Mandara and Kcca, did not fully respect the consent judgment. The judgment clearly stipulates that SSDM was to provide the 5 members to the school management committee of 9 people, but this never attended school management committee meetings. Kcca, on the other hand, delayed to approve and appoint the SSDM members to the school management. That collapsed. Finally, the second last, when Shirisha Natal Dama Mandara repossessed the school in 2001, they took over income generating projects of the school. They collected the money and never remitted it to the school for running school. All those UGB books, it is the association that has been collecting. The theater, time and again I've been talking to Abel Chief of Afri Talents. They are living the red cattle program. They were hiring that facility. They are paying through the doors. Up to now, Abel Chief and the team, they are paying to that association of Shirisha Natal Dama Mandara. And they are ever being threatened with eviction. Finally, the minister informed the committee that the position of the ministry is that Batu Valley Primary School should remain a public school at its current site. Secondly, the ministry maintains that even if the lease was to be renewed, the lease conditions should include, among other things, leaving Batu Valley Primary School as a public school at its present site. For your information, when the Islamists were renewing the lease, they purported to put their conditions which were never respected. Go back to page 72. It's important, Madam Speaker, I'm sorry for taking a lot of time. You see on page 72 the conditions. The school was repossessed by SSDM in 1991, and the repossession certificate had 4 conditions. Are we there? Have you seen those 4 conditions? Page 70. Yes? Page 3 of the report. Page 3. Even the certificate of however irregular it was, it had some conditions. Number 1, that the property remains as a school. That was a condition in the repossession certificate. No, this was not dispute land board, I'm sorry. It's not the expanding. Theirs was to renew the lease. This was the custodian board. The custodian board imposed those conditions. The property brings us a school. 1, that the school will be managed following the Ministry of Education regulations. 3, renovations be done during the holidays to avoid disrupting school activities. 4, the school to remain non-racial. But at least even with the repossession, there were conditions which were never respected. Finally, what was the resolution of Parliament on the last page? And I put the matter to rest. The other observation by the committee on the last page, the committee noted that Batu Valley Primary School is a UK school and serves the majority of children whose parents stay in the suburbs like Makerere Chivu, work in the city center and cannot afford taking their children to private schools. Finally, the resolution, government should not renew the lease of Shirisha Natal Dama Mandara. That was a resolution of Parliament, that the lease should not be renewed. 2, Batu Valley Primary School should remain a public UK school at the same site. the 5 acres, not even an inch should be taken away. 3. Government should find funds to renovate Batval Primary School as a matter of urgency. 4. Kampala City Council should refund the total sum of money of 220 million paid by SSDM for the renewal. Can you imagine? 5 acres, 220 million. 200, if this series was offered to you, honorable councillors, can you fail to get 220 million to get 5 acres down there? So there, we resolved then. I was in the house and I thanked Parliament 100 times that thank you. Government should find an alternative piece of primary land for the Shinisha Natal Mandal to undertake their investment. It should be noted that the 49-year lease title of SSDM was interrupted when blah, so on and so forth. They did not even stop because the reason was that the lease should have been renewed. But even after this Kampala District Land Board renewing the lease, they went ahead and converted it into freehold. Freehold. Contrary to the law. Let me tell you, the Constitution is very clear. If you are not a citizen of Uganda, you cannot hold an interest beyond the lease. You cannot have a value. You cannot become a mutaka. This we shared it with this man Shakra, I failed to mention his name. There was also another Rajinikanth Taylor. Rajinikanth Taylor was so much involved in this. So we told them, look here, you are not supposed to get a freehold here. Just like I cannot get a freehold in India. I don't want to sound like a racist, but there are rights which I reserve for the citizens. Finally, government should preserve all the state schools from being relocated. This is to enable the poor access UPE and the children. I raised this on the floor of the Parliament because it would appear there was a deliberate policy to phase out schools within the central business district. Those which have been mentioned, Ramgania, Alia Primary School, the Chidi, so many of them, Chagoro and the Gap of that, it would appear there is a trusty policy, a subtle policy being implemented to phase out of these schools. So honorable members, that summarizes the information you need about this facility. Maybe the very last one, the right honorable speaker, I've just seen a document here which the PS wrote claiming that it was also copied to my office. No, that it was mentioned in the office of the Lord Mayor somewhere, which I will share with you, indicating that, you see, that is the PS Minister of Education, that you see, it is dangerous for our kids to continue occupying or studying from condemned buildings. They are saying those buildings are condemned. But we took a decision way back in 2008, directing that Kcca and government should renovate these buildings. Now we are using it as an excuse to grab this property. Honorable members, all I know, I want to conclude, right, Honorable Speaker, what is going to happen? The honorable members have asked you to take a note of that observation in the letter to the Mayor's Central Division. It's important where they say, once they parcel up this land, get a portion of it, just like less than an acre, construct there a school, the rest of the land is subject to use without any restriction, multiple use. They only wanted to put there commercial buildings, a commercial mall. This is their plan. So even if, I don't know why the Central Division leaders were that guided to ever imagine that a school will be constructed on part of the land, and then the remaining portion will be taken by the Shirin and all that, and the employee says, it's not going to happen. Once we sanction the change of user for the bigger part of the land, even this small school will just fizzle out. So I will ask you, honorable members, to take a bold decision to preserve this facility. I thank you. That right up there, whatever. description. Meta chambers. These are meta chambers. The road mayor's para, the whole of that short tower was constructed by the meta. There is even the foundation, they took the foundation stone there, indicates it was handed over to the governor by the meta group on the 18th day of September 1950. So I'm worried if they are allowed to come and repossess whatever they bequeath to the public, these facilities may not be spared. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
They are even grabbing land that they have no connection to. Like I've already said, Sudim grabbed OSS grounds. He also participated in the grabbing of this land where Shimon was, where he has constructed a very big plaza that government is now renting to give him money, over our own money. We are renting something that is actually ours. And I think that this habit, if our Indian colleagues cannot stop it, the SSDM temple is near here. We can actually march there on Sunday when they are holding prayers, and we have negotiations over these braggings that they want to engage in. And I want to end, Mr. Speaker, by saying that, informing this council, and I think moving forward, we need to take the battle to another level, because as you have seen, very big government agencies have condemned these things, but they have still happened. There was not supposed to be a certificate of repossession, it was issued. There was not supposed to be a renewal of lease, it was granted. There was not supposed to be change of lease to freehold, it happened. Now there is not supposed to, Central Division was not supposed to make any resolutions, it has made them. So this kind of behavior has to be put back. And one of the ways is to go to court to seek a cancellation of these items. And I think I want to go on the road mayor to lead us in that struggle. Thank you very much.
Adopt, implement and enforce the recommendation of the Auditor General that the freehold title given, land title given to the trustee of SSDM should be rescinded or cancelled, and this will be granted to Kcca to develop and own the school. That is number 2. Number 3, council resolved that the purported Honorable Care.
The correction the road mayor said was that we change that one issue to freehold. Yes. They cancel the title of the freehold title and register it in the name of Kcca.
Okay, I hope you will capture it. Recommendation number 3. The purported and fraudulent ownership of a freehold lease by SSDM is challenged. Therefore, the Kampala District Land Board should cancel the freehold lease which was illegally and irregularly granted to SSDM. Those are 2 different recommendations for members. Yeah. Yes. The list shouldn't appear. Okay. Recommendation number 4. That Batima Primary School is a government-aided primary school where Kcca carries out a supervisory role on behalf of the central government. And the council resolves that we revoke with immediate effect the resolutions of the school management committee, the education and social services committee, and the central division council decisions. I have skipped engineering and technical services and physical planning. I have skipped those corrected. Number 5. That in this ordinary honorable council instance revolves the process of approving any plans by SSDM on the school land. We should not approve any plan on for SSDM.
Honorable Speaker, we use the words in section 34.
Okay.
We can add in votes, but also veto.
I mean the clerk?
And mention section, that particular section.
Section 34.
That under section 34.
Powers of the authority over the division urban councils. The authority shall have powers to veto a decision of division urban councils where the decision is inconsistent with or contravenes the Constitution or any other law, the Metropolitan Development Plan or policies of government. It is on that premise that we veto the decisions of Kampala Central Urban Division Council. Number 6, that Kcca management and the legal department be directed to pursue the legal processes to ensure that this property of IUPE schools is returned to Kcca. This may include, but is not limited to, setting aside the Kampala District Land Board order, litigation, and applying to set aside the consent judgment, among others, to ensure that this process is overturned. Number 7. Yes, please. Number 8. That Batman Primary School is one of the schools facilitating the attainment of universal primary education, UPE, in the city, within the main goal of providing basic education to all children of school-going age. It is therefore prudent that we uphold its status at its current location. That is the decision of the council. It is captured in recommendation number 1. Number 9, that becomes recommendation number 8. Council should adopt and implement, council resolves that we should adopt and implement the recommendation in the report by the select committee of Parliament referring into the irregular takeover of land formerly belonging to the public schools in Kcca of 2015, which said that government should find an alternative location for SSDM to carry out its investigations. That was investments. That was a concern by for Honorable.
I hereby inform some protection from this Honorable Council of the ongoing illegal activities in my electoral area, Machine East, and indeed other areas under the jurisdiction of the Kcca Authority Council that need urgent and immediate intervention. The matters herein include, among others, commencement of a number of public operations without the approval and involvement of this council. Indiscriminate eviction of traders from their workspaces without prior written notice and warnings. Arrest, torture, extortion, and inhumane treatment of the affected people. Stealing and confiscation of traders' merchandise by arresting officials. Demolition of property, including houses, shops, and places of worship without warning and legal backing. Deployment of a variety of unidentified operatives, fully armed with all sorts of rudimentary weaponry. Carrying out operations without notifying area leaders, including yours truly. As you all know, Section 6, subsection 1 of the Kampala Capital City Amendment Act 2019 clearly states that the council is a governing body of the capital city. I will repeat that a million times. And so it is prudent that council pronounces itself on the aforementioned issues with resolutions that will help restore sanity among residents and as well check the excesses of those involved in creating the ongoing fracas. It should be noted that Kcca has in the past been taken to court over similar incidents, which resulted in two multitudes of cases being lost, with the authority currently spending a big chunk of road development funds from taxpayers' money, paying litigation costs, compensation, among other encumbrances. I hereby provide the following recommendations to council for deliberation. Number 1. The Kcca Executive Director explains to council the full scope of the ongoing operations. Number 2. Perpetrators be brought to book. Number 3. In regards to traders evicted along Gaba Road, alternative workspaces should be sought to cater for those that have surfaced their livelihoods. I hereby propose that the empty space of Gaba bypass, earlier earmarked for a Kcca public market, be temporarily utilized by the affected vendors and workers of Gaba Road in order for them to earn a living is fixed as funds are sold to construct more permanent structures to house them. Thank you so much.